Mets' winning streak against Cubs stopped as Steven Matz rocked at Wrigley. Chicago. This isn't 2015 anymore, Mets fans. Even returning to the scene of their greatest upset in their magical 2015 run could not spark the 2016 Mets. Their offense continued to struggle and their once dominant pitching is starting to look strained. The Cubs scored 4 runs off left-hander Steven Matz as the Cubs beat the Mets 5-1 at Wrigley Field.That snapped the Mets' streak of 8 straight wins against the Cubs, dating back to the 2015 National League Championship Series. The Cubs beat the Mets for the first time since July 2, 2015 when they beat the Mets 6-1 at Citi Field. Their offense continued to struggle. Wilmer Flores, starting for the first time since before the All-Star break, homered off Jon Lester in the 7th. Otherwise the Mets were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position and left 4 runners stranded. Matz, who has lost 5 straight decisions and has not recorded a win since May 25, went just 5 innings, allowing 4 runs on 8 hits. He struck out 5 and walked 1. He gave up a 3-run homer to Anthony Rizzo in the 3rd inning and a lead-off double to Matt Szczur in the 6th. He was responsible for the run when it scored on David Ross' sacrifice fly off Seth Lugo.Yoenis Cespedes' fielding error in the 8th allowed Albert Almora, Jr. to advance to 3rd on a single and scored Szczur. He needed 102 pitches to get through 5 innings, which is about all the Mets are expecting to get from him each start right now. Matz has had to step up his pain management of the bone spur in his left elbow. After a cortisone shot when he was initially diagnosed earlier this season, the left-hander is now using short-term painkillers before each of his starts. The left-hander took a shot of Triple-A.So, a non-steroid anti-inflammatory, hours before Monday night's start. A short-term solution for pain, the Mets and Matz have been using it to try and get him to pitch through the rest of the season pitching with what has been called a significant bone spur in his left elbow. That is one reason there is such growing concern about Matz within the Mets organization and some calling for them to go out and get some insurance for their rotation before the August 1 non-waiver trade deadline. The Mets have been hesitant and have mostly been talking about bulking up their bullpen. They have been hoping that right-hander Zack Wheeler will be able to rejoin the rotation sooner than later. But several team sources said they are wary of relying on Wheeler in his first half season back from Tommy John surgery. Wheeler has already had 2 setbacks in his rehab and is just climbing back on the mound to throw again. There is no time frame for when he will return and there are no expectations of what he would be able to give them when he returns. Beyond Wheeler, the Mets really don't have anyone of note coming up in their system who could contribute at the major league level. Logan Verrett has already been forced into the rotation for Matt Harvey, who had season-ending shoulder surgery Monday. Left-hander Sean Gilmartin is in Triple-A, has a repertoire of 4 pitches and can get major league out. After the last few years of seeing heavily hyped stars like Harvey, Matz, Ynoa, Syndergaard and Wheeler come to the majors and contribute, there are no more young guns down on the farm right now. The Mets traded away its best pitching prospect last summer to get Yoenis Cespedes and has very little major league-ready depth left in the system. They have Robert Gsellman, who has 15.00 ERA, and Gabriel Ynoa, who is 9-3 with a 4.19 ERA at Triple-A. So there is growing concern about the rotation and the wear and tear on it. While doctors have assured Matz and the Mets that he cannot further damage the elbow by pitching through this, there have been some who think Matz will need the surgery before the end of the season. For some, this and Harvey's injury is another cost of that magical 2015 run, the heavy, high-stress workload. But Monday night was a stark reminder that this is not 2015 anymore, and 2016 isn't quite as magical.